What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. If you guys didn't see my previous video, we talked about Bellamy, Corazon, and the Don Quixote pirates arriving in the next Kizuna Clash Sugo Fest. I believe we should get the news for that tonight. The Sugo Fest will probably drop the day after. If not, it'll be a couple days from now, either way. Today, though, we're going to have a look at the character you can acquire by playing the Kizuna Clash, which is going to be the super evolved version of Luffy and Law. Now, for those of you who weren't around when this character first dropped in One Piece Treasure Cruise, this was like the character everyone wanted to get. This was the character on Global that people were saving their gems for like half a year for because of how amazing this character was. On release, he had the highest rainbow orb boost in the game. He had the switch ability to make his own normal attacks bypass defensive effects, on top of providing himself with a solo attack boost, and then you could use the orb boost, and then it would give himself like so much damage output whilst also going through defense, meaning you could just ignore a lot of gimmicks a lot of the time. The captain ability was a bit of a downside to the unit because while it was good rainbow effects, it's just the fact that it really didn't do much. Another good thing is that when this character came out, there was a really good support rare recruit that dropped with them, which was that Sengoku. And Sengoku plus the Luffy Law combo was god tier, essentially giving you a full board of matching slots and a chain boost on top of Luffy Law's abilities. It was pretty phenomenal. So a lot of people have been waiting to see a 6+ for Luffy and Law for a long time, and we're finally getting it here. So I'm excited to break this one down for you guys. Let's go ahead and jump in. Remember that this character will have level limit break with super evolution as well, so there's a lot of different effects we need to break down. Okay, so we have Luffy, who is a fighter, free spirit dex. We have Law, slasher, cerebral, quick, no changes there at all. Combined form, they're fighter and slasher, no changes at all. Of course, we have the tags. And then we get into the abilities. Okay, so let's start off with the base form of Luffy, and we'll have a look at his buffed version. So at a bare minimum, he is going to have Luffy's captain ability, -1 turn of cooldown, 4.25 rainbow attack, 1.25 rainbow HP, size slots are matching, and then heals the crew by 0.5 for every perfect. So really not a lot of changes here. I believe the size slots were not there beforehand, and I don't believe Luffy had a healing effect. I remember Law having a healing effect, I think, but I don't remember Luffy having that, so that is actually a little bit different. So let's have a look at what he does with level limit break investments. So he reduces cooldown and switch gauge by 1, that's really cool. Boosting cruise attack by 4.5, up from 4.25. HP is the same, recovery, or the size slot is the same, and then the healing is also the same, but it also has allows crew's weakened status applied effects to ignore immunity to all status effects. That is very interesting. There are a lot of characters that apply weakness that just don't go through immunity, which really does suck. So having this as a captain to potentially provide that, I don't know if it's gonna like be the reason you would ever use them as a captain. I mean, it's a bit of a weird effect, honestly. It is unfortunate that there's no crazy utility or anything like that. So captain ability wise, I'm not overly amazed. So let's have a look at Law's captain ability. So Law, okay, this must be switched. This must be switched because as I said, I don't remember Luffy having a healing effect. Yeah, so I believe this is Luffy's, and then this is Law's effect. I believe this is likely switched. So you see that you get the okay, so one of them gives switch by 1, but this one doesn't. That's really weird. And then 4.5 times attack, in slots matching, and then 4.75, and then the weakened status can still be applied. Okay, then you have the dual captain ability in the normal form, which gives the same thing, 5 times rainbow attack, sight and in a matching, you get higher recovery per perfect. Tapping on this character with a dex or a quick slot will apply increased damage taken status by 1.5 times for 1 turn. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Because their switchability guarantees a slot on them, meaning you could just inflict 1.5 times increased damage taken every turn. Of course, well, this is their dual captain, so it means that you have to like use their special in order to do it. Unless if they can become the dual captain in Super Switch, that would be kind of interesting for a character such as this. So with investments, what do they have? 5.25 times attack, Everything else is still the same. So the weakness going through immunity doesn't even apply to the normal captain. Interesting. and the increased damage taken is also the same. So the only real difference is the fact that the weakened status can go through immunity. That's like literally the only difference, aside from like slightly higher numbers. So captain ability wise, I think this character's okay. The weakness going through immunity could be interesting. There could be some really interesting use cases for that, but I think generally it's not that great. Sailor ability can completely evade special bind and paralysis. That's kind of neat. And then increasing base stats, whatever. Switch ability. Okay, so the switch ability at the base form, guaranteed slot, 2 times attack, and allows this character's normal attacks to go through defensive effects. The super switch requires 7 swaps. That's a little bit harsh. And it does the same thing, but it will also change all the crew slots into matching. All crews attack 2.25 times, and then there are normal attacks go through defensive effects. If this was applied to all characters, holy cow, that would have been so broken. That would have been so insane. Unfortunately, they didn't do that. All right, special ability. So they actually have different specials. So let's have a look here. Special 1 deals 400 times their attack and non-type damage to one enemy, reduces paralysis by 6 turns, makes strength, dex, and quick matching for 1 turn, and then boosts slot effects by 3x for 1 turn, combined for 3 turns. Okay, yeah, so the super switch also does not combine into their dual form. Then you have, okay, so this is definitely Luffy's special, because I remember Law's special did less damage, but it did do damage that goes through defensive effects. So Law's special ability will do damage that goes through defensive effects, reduces bind duration by 6 turns. Okay, so Luffy removes paralysis, Law removes bind status, and then makes strength dex quick matching 3 times or boost, and then combine. Okay, so what do you get when you have investments? It does 400 times your attack in non-type damage to one enemy. If any character has paralysis status when you launch the special, it will apply weakened status. Okay. To all enemies for 1 turn. See, this is kind of weird, right? Because I understand what they're doing. However, the fact that applying weakness is you only benefit from that when you use them as a captain means that if you just want to randomly use them as a sub on a team, this weakened status just doesn't go through full immunity unless you use them as a captain. So I kind of hate that aspect of it. Like, it would have been nice if like it was in the captain, but it was also in the special as well, so you could use them as a sub. A little bit of a weird thing there. So if you have paralysis on your team, you apply weakened status for 1 turn, and then after that, reduce paralysis by 7, so the utility goes up, and then strength dex quicker matching, further increase your attack boost by 0.5, meaning their own attack boost becomes a 2.75 times attack boost for all characters, and then boosts slot effects by 3x for 1 turn, combined for 3 turns. So the orb boost doesn't even go up, or it become like a 3-turn buff. So that's a little strange. Even a 2-turn buff would have been nice. Okay, Law special ability looks to do the same thing. If you have bind status when you launch the special, apply weakened status, remove 7 turns, buff attack boost or boost. Okay, it is the same special. You get slightly higher utility. You get the buff to the attack boost, and you apply weakened status. So yeah, it's definitely like better than what we had before, but it's like they could have done a lot more to make this character stronger, because the way that it is right now, the way that this character is designed, like, yes, it is definitely a better version. Like, this is just Luffy and Law, but slightly better from where they were before. But if we're talking in terms of context of 2025 characters, this is just not good enough. It really isn't. Like, if you stripped the name and the artwork off of this character and just read it, you would say this character is not that good in 2025. It just is not. It just isn't. So people may be blinded by the fact, oh, you know, it's Luffy Law, I absolutely love this character, whatever it is. No, this character, honestly, I don't think people are really going to ever use this character. I mean, obviously, this character in upcoming content is going to be useful because they're going to be a boosted character, and the fact that they have Rainbow Orb Boost, Rainbow Captain ability, means that it's very easy to inject them into teams. So I do like that aspect of it, but the character's just not good enough. The character needed to be a lot better. And the fact that you need to have the certain debuff in order to apply the weakness, I hate that. Especially because like the bind one is very annoying, because if Law is binded, you just can't use the effect. Whereas like if Luffy is paralyzed, like that's fine, you can still get that. But if you're binded, like you're just kind of screwed. So yeah, I just think that design wise, it doesn't really make a ton of sense. Okay, let's move on to the Rumble stuff. Let's have a look. So for the Rumble stuff, I'm only going to look at the fully invested version. Let's see. Team attack up level 7. That's good. Fighter and slashers get HP 7, speed 7. Actually, one thing I should probably mention before we go any further. In Rumble, with how dual units work, dual units do not have a color in Rumble. They are only considered classes, and they are always considered the dual form classes, meaning Luffy and Law in Rumble are always considered fighter and slasher characters, okay? Just in case if anyone was wondering. So, they will give 7 attack, fighter and slasher teammates, HP 7, speed 7. If 4 or more, Straw Hat, Heart Pirate, Paramecia are on the team, self-attack up level 5. And then during Assault Rumble, fighter and slasher teammates, HP at level 5. It's not that good, really. It's not. It's not that good. It's just okay. I mean, a lot of raw team attack up, like just attack up in general, like lots of attack. So they themselves will have level 12 attack and level 12 HP just with themselves alone. Like that's not bad, but like not really a lot else going on, honestly. Okay. Special ability. Let's have a look here. Targets enemies in a large range for 5,000 fixed damage. That's okay. Targets your team, sorry, for attack up level 7 for 20 seconds. That's pretty good. And then target 2 enemies for 5 times damage. Targets, not including self, Straw Hat, Heart Pirate, Paramecia teammates for a 20% CT reduction. And then during Assault Rumble, target 2 shooter and fighter enemies for 5 times damage. I guess you gotta remember though, is that this is a really old Sugo Fest exclusive, so a lot of like hardcore players will likely have the ability to get this character to level 150, and this character with full investments might be able to do some things in Rumble, I would think. But you gotta think about like the team building aspect of this character. If you're running a fighter team, you're probably not using this character. There's a ton of other Luffys that you would probably want to use over this. And then in the aspect of like a slasher team, would you really want to use this character in a slasher team? Probably not. But if you're thinking about like just Assault Rumble, because in Assault Rumble you're doing an additional 5 times damage hit, because there's probably going to be a shooter or a fighter enemy to take on. And then also in Assault Rumble, their Rumble ability will also give you like level 5 HP up. That could be kind of useful, to be honest, allowing you to just have a high HP pool to play around with. So I don't know, man. I guess it's one of those things. It's just another character that's going to be another underwhelming unit. I forgot about the fact that they have Grand Party. So the Grand Party should also receive a pretty decent buff. So they give buffs to Dex and Quick, attack HP recovery up, fighter and slasher, attack defense crit up, Straw Hat, Heart Pirate, Paramecia level 3 CT speed up. I mean, it's pretty okay. The burst condition requires the enemy to use 6 Rumble specials, and it targets 4 high attack enemies for 5,000 fixed damage, and then targets 4 enemies with high HP for 5 times damage. You are never using this. Like, literally, you're never using this. If this damage was like, if it was like less multiplier but damage through defense, maybe could have been pretty good, but no damage through defense on that. Yeah, no one's using this. So yeah, Luffy Law, I think they're, I guess you could probably consider them to being like one of the other underwhelming 6+. Now, I don't think this character is a complete failure, because I think that there may be some interesting use cases for a character such as this. But the fact that we get so many Trafalgar Laws and Monkey D. Luffy characters means there's not going to be too many situations to actively use this character in your team. And I think this character will be relatively difficult to use in Rumble as well, because I just don't think there's going to be a lot of space to really fit them into a solid team. However, if you are a casual player, returning player, new player, this is going to be a pretty okay character for your account, because you can put him in tons of teams and you can make them work in lots of cool ways. But anyways, that's my breakdown of Luffy and Law. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about this one. Do you guys think this is another failure of a 6+? Let me know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video though. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.